Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Before I get into today's video, I would like to do a couple shout outs there that of course I'm going to put their links in the description below. I would like you all to check out Mr. E, the Low Grade King. I've probably mentioned him before. He's been a guest on my channel before. We did a video together. Um, but you know what? He is doing this one thing where he's every month he does his updates on his Star Wars collection. That's something he wants to do, is get all the Star Wars books in grade. So he's working on it, and also he likes to show other parts of his Star Wars collection. That is a real cool thing to watch. You should be watching that. You should also be watching Casino Comics, because Casino Mike brings out some great looking books just about every week, and he just shows them, and they're talks about them a bit, and quite simply he's picked some real good ones over the last little while. So I'm glad to be able to watch that once in a while. And the third one I want you out there to check out is, I want you to check out Rad's art. I can't remember right off the top of my head what his channel is, but I will put it in the description. Rad, of course, is a very good artist who has sold a lot of art through people like Steven Gentner has bought a lot of his art. Biggie Shack is a big promoter of him, and Rad is going to be an artist involved with Bleecker and Callie's Murder King project. So you should be checking that out on Kickstarter soon. So check out Rad's art, because he has got some serious talent, especially if you're into good girl art. All right, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's get to today's topic. If you recall, and I'm going to post a link in the description below, I once did a video with regards to Bronze Age Superman has some great stories. Bronze Age Superman does have some great stories. In that first video, I talked about a story involving Jonathan Ross, a storyline that, went over 4 or 5 books over the course of the Bronze Age. And yes, it began with that one cover that, people say looks like an innuendo cover, but we're not going to get into that part. That's something completely different. But Jonathan Ross was not the only child that Superman had a relationship with and had a storyline with. The one that I'm referring to today is a kid by the name of Billy Anders. Billy Anders was a neighbor of Clark Kent's, living in the same building at 344 Clinton Street. He was a young boy who, for a while, shared his mind with a pet lynx. He serves as a strange vessel for Superman to save his super strength when he doesn't need it. That part I don't understand, but that's the way it was. And when I talk about the books, hopefully we'll get some explanation about that. And it was only his strength. He kept all his other powers at all times. They were both cured, but Billy was eventually cured of both conditions, about either saving the strength or talking through the links, by technology belonging to Terra Man, who was a villain, who was the newest big villain they were trying to introduce as a big bad in the Bronze Age against Superman. Terra Man made about 20 appearances in 10 years, and they were trying to make him into this huge thing. Terra Man's barely been used ever since. I don't even think he's been used since slightly after. I don't even know if he's been used post-Crisis. That's something I'd have to look up. He was also involved, Billy Anders was also involved when Superman actually meets Captain Strong. And Captain Strong, we'll get into that story as well. If you'll remember Captain Strong, he's the Popeye ripoff that is a friend of Superman's. All the covers of the books that I'm about to show were done by Nick Cardy. And I'm mentioning this now so that I don't forget to mention it at all. Nick Cardy, of course, is one of the best cover artists DC ever had, as well as interior. But his covers outweigh the amount of interior work that he's done over the years. He didn't do that much interior work compared to the covers because he did a lot of covers, especially from 1969 to 1975, which of course is where this era falls into. The first book I'm going to show is Superman 253, which is the first appearance of Billy. And it is from June 1972. It's written by Dennis O'Neil, and the pencils are done by Kurt Swan, and the inks by Murphy Anderson. This story is called The Kid Who Saved Superman. Fairlin Nixley, he is the violinist from the early O'Neil run that was served as a break to the Sand Superman story back in the days not long before this. Acquires a suit of armor and a super slingshot from a buddy, which phases in and out of the desert. Sorry, from a building, not a buddy. Can't read. There's this building that phases in and out from the desert. Okay, that's discovered, and Fairlin Nixley acquires armor out of this place, and he uses, of course, the armor to fight Superman. Superman's his big bad because he stopped him from being the world's greatest musician with that old violin he had. When Billy Anders is touched, who's a neighbor of Clark, by Nixie in the suit when Nixie's trying to find where Superman is, somehow an aura surrounds Billy, and there is a pet lynx from another person in the building. There's also inside this aura, and somehow their minds are switched. Think Freaky Friday, okay? Billy and the Lynx manage to find Superman, and they where unfortunately Fairlin is waiting for him at Clark Kent's apartment, and that's where the Lynx sends Superman. Superman then manages to fight and capture him, and he is imprisoned. Part of this story here, at the end of the story, involves the disappearing building and the Martian Manhunter. That part of the story is completed, if you want to read the second part of that story, in issue 212 of World's Finest, June 1972, the same date as this book. So that part of it, I'm bringing it up because it is a part of the story. If you wish to continue that part, I've got to buy that book. Damn it. I thought I had it. I don't. I would have pulled it out at least to show you the cover. The second book of this run is July 1972's Superman 254. The Kid Who Has Superman's Powers. Again, written by O'Neil, pencils by Swan, inks by Anderson. When Superman returns from the planet Vaughn, he is intercepted by a Cleth spaceship whose occupants claim to be peaceful, but are actually setting up for an invasion of the planet. They are creating a weapon called a reflector warp. Which causes Superman's strength to boomerang against him when he uses it. A Cleth doctor who is a rebel towards their people, especially because he doesn't like the ship's commander, shows Superman a way out of the situation by transferring his strength, and only his strength, to Billy Anders, and then psychically borrowing it whenever Superman needs it by thinking of the Lynx. Superman then defeats the Cleth. By the way, there's no real word on how Billy and the Lynx's minds get back to where they're supposed to be. At least that I remember. They're written down. I'm not always 100% on top of things. This one is a fun story, and I'm going with it. I should be better. I should be a little better, but I'm going with this. This is fun. Sometimes things need to be seen by you. So, the next issue, there's a few issues of Superman in between where there's nothing going on. I don't know if they forgot about the Superman strength thing or whatever, but they go on. He does other adventures. That's not a factor. Next up, we have Superman 259, The Kid Who Knocked Out Superman. This is written by Cary Bates, pencils by Kurt Swan, inks by Murphy Anderson. Terra Man breaks jail, and Clark is on camera when he gets the news. At once, he becomes Superman and starts searching for Terra Man, but Terra Man finds him first. At this point, Superman still has to think of the links to get his strength. Terra Man manages to escape the fight. Later, he realizes there's a connection with Superman and the links as he, through his technology, managed to figure out in reading Superman's mind. So, Terra Man finds the links with Billy and uses his technology to put Billy's mind in him, and Terra Man takes over. He manages to put in the links a blockage, making the links unavailable. Terra Man then takes over his Billy's body, catching Superman off guard and knocking him into a boulder. Superman can't summon his strength because he's forgotten now, thanks to this block, about the links. Meanwhile, Billy suddenly remembers the links when Terra Man flips their minds back. Superman eventually escapes because Billy does manage to get word to the links and uses the Terra Man's tech to fix the three of them so that none of this transfer stuff can happen again. Meanwhile, Terra Man accidentally sends himself to another dimension, just therefore ending that storyline. He comes back. Shh. He does. Like I said, they were trying to make Terra Man into this big baddie for a while. Excuse me. Thus endeth the storyline with the Lynx and Billy, but Billy still makes one more appearance before he's done, and he hasn't appeared since. This is Action Comics 421 from February 1973. The Fantastic Feats of Captain Strong, written by Cary Bates, pencils by Kurt Swan, inks by Murphy Anderson. A crusty old sailor discovers a type of plant that gives him temporary superpowers that rivals Superman's. He calls it Suansha and attempts to get a deal to sell the plant. Captain Strong idolizes Superman, and the dishonest businessman who he's made a deal with tries to duplicate hires a duplicate to pretend to be Superman to obtain a sample of the plant. The captain discovers the ruse and aggressively retrieves the sample back from the thief. They discover, though, that the more Suansha that Captain Strong consumes, the more he loses control of his mind and his actions. Superman confronts him and takes the Suansha away so that Strong can break his addiction. Turns out it's an alien plant. Now, how Billy factors into this story is that he is rescued at the beginning by Captain Strong when a dock he's on collapses, and Captain Strong and Billy become friends. To the point that when Captain Strong loses the fight and he ends up in the hospital, Billy is there visiting as his friend. Captain Strong was actually redone, by the way, post-crisis as a character by the name of Bebo Bobovsky. If most people are familiar with him, he's a big sailor type character, longshoreman type, who wins the lottery and buys his favorite bar. He's a big fan of Superman's, and of course he has a dog named Crypto, and it's a regular dog. It's not the Crypto we know, and is a friend of Jimmy Olsen's, and he makes quite a few appearances in post-crisis. He's been used less and less over the years, though. But Captain Strong as an archetype has continued into the modern day, but Captain Strong as a character has not. He only made about 3 appearances, I believe, in the Bronze Age. Maybe I'll do it the next time I do Superman has great Bronze Age stories. I'll bring out his other ones, but I'm thinking I'm going to do a video on Terraman. That is the story of Billy Anders. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe below. I particularly want to know what you liked about it, what you didn't like, and of course, anything you want to know, anything you need to say. I want to see it. I like seeing it very much. I like knowing what people think about things. Thank you very much, and don't forget to check out the people I mentioned at the beginning of the video: Casino Comics, Mr. E, the Low Grade King, and Rad Art. Okay, again, the links will be down in the description, and I hope everybody goes and gives them a look and a subscriber. Thank you very much for joining me today. My name's Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.